Auditors at Open the Books have been tracking nonprofits that receive funds from the City of Baltimore for years. And again, it appears many have failed to register with the state. This morning, Jeremy Portnoy, an investigative journalist with Open the Books, is joining us live with his findings. Jeremy, good morning. How many nonprofits are not complying with this state law?
We found 24 of them are not properly registered with the state of Maryland. The city is still funding them. They gave them $61 million last year. These nonprofits employ 1,146 people, but they don't have their paperwork right with the Secretary of State.
So, Jeremy, let's talk about why that matters if they don't have the paperwork to register with the state.
Well, it was all governed through the Maryland Solicitation Act, right? And what that does is it helps the Attorney General and the Secretary of State find what they call sham charities that are making misleading or deceptive statements, trying to raise funds for things other than they're actually claiming. The city, instead of enforcing this rule that helps identify these charities, they're in a way rewarding their bad behavior, not cutting off their funding when they fail to register properly.
And what's interesting and even surprising, it's not the first time that Open the Books has looked into this and found something similar.
Yeah, I mean, I know this probably sounds familiar to you because my team has been doing this interview for 4 years now.
Right.
It's been so long. We've actually found some charities that started with issues in 2023, fixed them in 2024. Now they have issues again in 2025. And we continue to reach out to the city every year about it. They don't respond to our request for comment.
And Jeremy, it's not to say that they're doing any wrongdoing. They could be doing everything correct, but that paperwork just isn't being filed, correct?
Exactly. Most of them, it's probably just simple paperwork mistakes. But look at an example like City of Baltimore just a few years ago. Their CEO was indicted on federal corruption charges.
Right, that's true.
Before that, they were delinquent with the state because their paperwork was not correct. When you have 24 nonprofits now receiving funding, it's possible that at least one of them has some serious issues like that.
Whose job is it to be making sure that paperwork is done, and if it's not, making sure that there's a repercussion because of it?
It's split between the city and the state, right? This Maryland Secretary of State is supposed to be enforcing this ultimately. Last time they responded to us was 2 years ago. They told us they were looking into it, but we haven't seen significant changes. But then it's also up to the city to enforce this law and say, hey, your registration is delinquent. We're going to cut off your funding this year until you make some changes.
What do you expect to see?
I mean, it's been a few years now that we've been doing this. We haven't seen progress so far. So we've made them aware of the issue again. We'll see if they actually make some changes this time around.
All right, we'll be checking back in. Jeremy, thanks for letting us know your findings. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Megan. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.